So people say like we brainwash people. I want to know what it means to be brainwashed in your context with that, or your definition. What does it mean to be brainwashed?
Kelsey, I'm going to let you speak into that, because you, having come from the church, I think that'd be more of a effective answer to come from you about what from your perspective the brainwashing of this group looks like.
Well, for me, it's basically changing your whole look at things, and there's many things in the world that you can that can change your view of the world. But the thing with the WMSCOG, and speaking from my experience, is that for me personally, I went as someone who didn't really care about the Bible, didn't really I never studied the Bible before coming to the WMSCOG, and then all of a sudden going full force into it. So there's a lot of things that happen now looking back, and after having read various books about cults, to see that the WMSCOG really fits the pattern of a destructive cult. So starting with
okay. I'm sorry to cut you off, Kels. Okay, what is the destructive cult? Let me know, because people keep saying like we are destructive cults. What did I mean?
About to touch on that one. Good question. What is a destructive cult, right? So there again, there's various pieces that make something identified as a destructive cult. So first thing is first step is love bombing, right? So you enter the church, and everybody usually has the same the same view of the church when they first go, is that everybody's so loving, right? Everybody's so attentive, everybody's giving you compliments, you want to go back because of the members. That's actually a common tactic of destructive cults, is this love bombing. So they make you want to come back.
Okay. One thing, Kels, one thing, because before this interview, or not interview, meeting, interview, I actually looked at the word. I looked at the word destructive cult, and so Jordan.
Well, I'm not done yet though. There's more aspects of it.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to. But it seemed like what you talked about. I never saw that being
Never saw love bombing in the church.
I never saw that being like a characteristic of a destructive cult. That's what I'm saying. And so I looked at the word destructive cult characteristics, and I didn't see it like that's a characteristic of love bombing. And we're loving, people. It's I don't know, because I'm.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm a different situation, because I saw both this person this person's loving, this person it's mixed personalities. It's not like everybody was all lovey dovey, So I had but I didn't come for the love. The love is nice. Love is nice, of course. But if you're gonna come to a church, come for the love of God. That's what you want to come to church for. When people say, a law bomb, and then things change, and I don't want to come to church no more. It's like, you wasn't really in for God at first. You was in because of the love of the brothers and sisters, which, the brothers and sisters love is nice as well. But priority has to be the love of God. Who cares if the brothers and sisters come who cares?
Well, can I continue in my explanation? Because it's not just love bombing. Like I said, there's various aspects that make something a destructive cult, and it's not just going to be like a one sentence definition of the word or of the term. It's what they do. It's all the different things that they do that, when added up, they show themselves as a destructive cult. So like I said, with love bombing, right, making you want to go, because businesses, when you think of businesses, for example, they're gonna treat you nice because they want your service, right? So it's more aspects involved that really help, or that really make the WMSCOG fit the pattern of a destructive cult. And again, another one is about you have to, all your life choices that you make, right? For example, wanting to go on vacation, wanting to go to someone's wedding, wanting to go to school, wanting to join the military, wanting to marry someone. All these life choices, they need to be brought up, or they need to be asked you need to ask permission for within the church. I know you're probably going to say that, some people, a lot of people, they don't ask permission, they just do it, right? But the thing is the more you're in the church, the less freedom you have. So if I'm a 3-year, 4-year member, I might not have to ask permission, as opposed to if I'm a 10-year member and I want to go on vacation. that's a different story. I need to ask permission, and they're probably going to deny it because they're saying, why are you going to go on vacation when you should be preaching the gospel? There's that one. There's also, just again, taking away basic like not only decision making, but like just what you're doing within your life, right? Like you can't, like when I was a member, I could no longer go and hang out with my friends whenever I wanted to. I was not allowed to date people. I was not allowed to, I mean, there's just like a whole laundry list of items that I was no longer allowed to do, that to anybody else would seem just like a normal situation, like a normal, like living your life without doing anything bad. But according to the church, they told me I couldn't do. And I see, Jordan, you're pulling up something about signs of a cult. I mean, critical, like number one, opposing critical thinking. Uh-huh. Sorry, your voice is a little low. I didn't hear.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my wife.
Oh, okay, sorry. Is that the third warning?
My goodness, she's getting mad.
No problem. So I mean, I could go on and on, but I mean, just to keep it short, Jordan, he's pulled up, the 7 signs of a cult, and when you read each of one of these things, I mean, the WMSCOG really fulfills all of these categories. So opposing critical thinking, you're not allowed to think like if the church, you're not allowed to question, is the church wrong? You're not allowed to, question if the church is wrong. You can't question the teachings. You can't question anything about An Sang Hong or Dong Gil Ja.
And more than that, Kelsey, I think what should fairly be added to that is the teaching that you should not go to the internet. You should not look at the evidence. I think the fact, JB, even just honestly, that you've acknowledged that you haven't read An Sang Hong's book, the problems with the New Jerusalem, the bride and women's veils, I think that kind of reveals a characteristic.
I read the whole book of it. I read some of it because of evidence that is posted online. Like it talks about like a lady claiming to be the Heavenly Mother.
My point in bringing that up is just to kind of it's just another.
Nobody told me not to read it. Like I was never told to not read it. Like see, I'm not online right now. It's like okay,
but I think the consistency of the WMSCOG leadership is that they tell their members, do not go to the internet. It's to do that is to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And so I think
I mean, somebody posted a video about that, about how the internet is they posted the church's video of that. So that video does exist.
I've heard that
internet, it depends, internet, it could be used for bad things. It's good in the internet, it's bad internet. I'm not gonna say the whole internet is the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It's like there's some good things about the internet. There's some crazy things.
And I think the point.
But then why did the church say that though?
Yeah, we're not saying you say that. I think the point here is just to say that this is the characteristic of the WMSCOG in general. And I have, like no exaggeration, probably hundreds of people that have testified, whether in YouTube comments or in just personally as I've been talking on these things or in emails about how they were so discouraged from looking online, and they'll testify to that same thing. It's eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. I see members on Instagram, current members, constantly telling other members saying, hey, don't read this guy's post. Don't watch this video.
Oh, me too. I see on I mean, all over social media, people posting, these people are that Satan's on the internet, that, don't join this group or this group because, they're just masquerading.
Yeah. And so I think that all just stands as, and again, we're not.
And also reporting pages that are reporting pages or sites that are against the WMSCOG. Yep. I've seen people posting that, or turn them into your group leader.
And so the
church can handle it.
JB, is again, we're not saying this is you. We're not saying you do this necessarily. We're just saying the characteristic of the WMSCOG. The evidence, I think, is undeniable that they oppose critical thinking, that they line up with this first point. And this is just a random article I just pulled up that I don't.
I know because I looked at the word cult itself. It says like there's four definitions of the word cult. It's religious amount which cause harm or a destructive cult. So destructive cult, what I looked up, it says a religious movement which cause harm to its members or other people, whether it be physical injury or even killed. So this is like a destructive cult, of course. Like they're doing destructive things, harming you physically or even killing you, yeah, that's a destructive cult. We understand like Jim Jones like that. That'd be considered a destructive cult, which killed like a whole bunch of people, rest their soul. And then we see here like even the word cult. The cult means like a form of religious veneration, a system of religious beliefs, and its body of how the word said, and it said religion regarded as unorthodox or spurious. And so I heard that that's what we call a cult because we're unorthodox.
Well,
and so a great devotion to a person or idea. And so with this definition, a great devotion to a person or idea, we can say, shoot, all religions are cults then, and people do say that all religions are cults. They do say that. And a person united by devotion or allegiance. Oh, I'm saying it wrong. I'm not good.
Allegiance. Yeah.
Allegiance. Thank you. To an artistic or intelligent movement, or
well, can I make one point real quick? Because so for something to be defined as a destructive cult doesn't mean they need to physically harm someone. I mean, any cult expert will tell you that a destructive cult has a negative impact on someone. So, for example,
okay, bring that back. Okay, you said destructive cult has a negative impact.
Yeah,
I could testify. A lot of members could testify it has been no negative impact on our lives. And so, if some people, you're gonna see it everywhere. Negative impact, yeah, of course, everywhere has that. Everywhere has that. We see like you already know this mainstream. I'm not gonna put down a denomination out there, but you already know it's a denomination that's known for doing crazy things and harm their members physically. So, but nobody's calling them destructive cults. But you said that they could harm negative, but I'm trying to sit here and tell you right now that I don't know, man. It's confusing because I don't see it.
But so just because you've had it's good that you've had you say you've had a good experience in the church. But the thing is people all over the world, people who don't know each other, people who don't necessarily speak the same language, are all suddenly coming out saying the church, the WMSCOG has destroyed my marriage. The WMSCOG has I've lost because this church. I'm
so sorry to hear that, but
I'm talking about the WMSCOG in particular. I know not all churches are good. I agree, but I'm talking about the WMSCOG.
But that don't justify it, though. If our church doing it, it don't justify nothing. It's a sad, sad event.
But again,
well, I'm just saying with this, like we could. This is probably one of those other issues. This is as far as the damage it does, whether we can rightly define it as destructive. That would be something that's more subjective and depends on different people's situations. I think the evidence is that the common denominator of this group is that there is a destructive tendency of this group in people's lives, whether it's emotionally. I think ultimately it's spiritually. But I think maybe with these points, there's some more objective things that we could look to also that I think are less. When I say objective and subjective, the thing we're talking about now is subjective in the sense that you, JB, are saying that your experience is good. You're not experiencing the destructive.
It's all about perspective nature of things, some things, and then you gotta understand like how you gotta come and like dig up evidence as well. Like even if our story is really true, like what really happened? Like, you only get one side of the story, not the other side. This person said this, but then the other person is like, no, that really didn't happen. So like how can we say that this really happened and this didn't happen? Even like I could say all these things, but then like how like this really happened in my life? How I'm really having like a good.
So are you suggesting that all the people who are saying that the church is breaking up their families, that they might not be telling the truth?
If everybody say 2 + 1 is 4, it's gonna be 4.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
I'm sorry. If everybody going around and like change something, right? It's like, 2 + 1 is 4 now. Everybody's saying it. Yeah, it's fact. 2 + 1 is 4. It's fact.
So you think it's just a chain reaction that one person's saying it and everybody's kind of jumping on the bandwagon, just making up the story?
It's the internet. There's trolls these days. There's a lot of trolls. There's a lot of fake people.
But people have gone to court, taken the church to court over this kind of issue.
Yeah, not everybody though. Some people, I saw that. Yeah.
No, not everybody, but there's some people, and not even in just one country, but in multiple countries, people are going to. They're taking the church to court because the church has destroyed their families or their marriage, and there's proof behind it.